Well, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And I'm going to apologize in advance for any background noise we get. I'm hoping everybody's enjoying their days with their families. We're getting ready to have dinner as we speak. I got out this morning for a short hunt, and I'll show you just a couple clips from that. There's not too much to talk about, but on this video we're going to do something a little different. I've had several people ask about the specifics of my Illinois hunt and to break it down, and that's what we're going to do. I haven't done that before, so bear with me. I'm sure we'll get better with it as time goes, but there's one thing I want to ask of you guys, and those of you that watch my videos and enjoy them, if you have Facebook or have Instagram, go on Facebook or Instagram and search for Rocky Top Bow Hunting and give that a like and a follow. It actually gives me a little easier avenue to reach you guys, ask questions, what you'd like to see, so on and so forth. But let's get to the video. Okay guys, we're gonna make a run at breaking down a little bit of a map for you, and I've spent literally the last hour trying to find an area that sets up real similar to the spot I killed my buck. So this is what I come up with. Alright, so I made some notes and I hunted this area a total of 7 different sits. Never hunted it twice in one day. So, as you can see here, we've got a bunch of different waypoints, and this waypoint down here to the south, if my computer will cooperate. Okay, this waypoint down here to the south, right here, that's where I saw that crazy buck on my second sit into the area that I hunted. It was on an opposing ridge. There was some really good bedding on this finger right here. And in fact, I actually need to put another waypoint there. But the morning that I hunted in the bedding area and had the does come right underneath me and eventually bust me, and my wind wasn't cooperating, would have been somewhere in a like this, you know, somewhere right in here on this finger. So we'll throw that out. Okay, what we're really going to focus on here is the finger in which I killed. So my first sit would have been like here, the evening of November 1st. That would have been the day 2 video, and I saw those does. The does would have come from up here, got my wind, turned around and went out. The next time in would have been a morning sit on day 4. No, day 6. It would have been on the day 6 video. It was the video in which I filmed a bobcat, saw like 4 year-and-a-half-old bucks, a 2.5-year-old buck, it was just a really, really good morning. So if we go here and find us a waypoint to use. Okay, so most of the buck travel and the rubs are running like this right here, just like so. And the reason that is because this up here is bedding. Literally all of this is bedding. And I had those dropping white oaks around here where my stand icons are, and those deer could just pop out of the bedding and immediately be feeding. And that was really the game changer. Hunting close to bedding, having that food, and then also having some good bucks in the area really, really made a big difference. So that hunt was very good. But I also realized that I might need to push in just a little bit further based off what I was seeing. So the next time in would have been day 7, the morning hunt, and that was the hunt in which I saw the big buck. And I was in probably an icon close to this right here. And that buck come up like this. I saw him about the time he was parallel. He's about 50 yards there. And then he gets downwind of the coyotes and shoots up across here. And that's about the time you can see him on the video. And then that night, we had a lot of rain that afternoon. I wasn't able to hunt. The following morning, November 7th, day 8, I was not able to hunt. So the afternoon to day 8, I went in. And I want to say that actually day 7 would have been something similar to this, and we got all that rain. I actually backed up just a little bit from where I'd sat the previous day. But they're all within about 60 yards of each other. So day 8 was the day that I had this super close encounter, had that big buck at 30 yards, and was not able to get a shot. He come basically this way right here, and I saw him about the time he hit right here. He comes up literally on a string to me, gets to 30 yards, works that tree that you can see in the video, and then there's some does up the finger from me, and he goes dead away up to check those does. And then at last light, I hear him have that encounter, and it was just a little too dark, and he'd come in just like this, hooked around just like those rubs that I was talking about earlier, and goes out somewhere out in here. So that was 2 days in a row I'd had an encounter with that buck. Both times he either came from or went to this point up here. And I know this is all great bedding on this point. So I felt pretty good about it. This spot essentially is between, we've got bedding here, and then we've also got bedding over here with a creek bed in the middle. And I was just working off each one depending on wind. So day 9, I went in and set up in a similar spot, somewhere in here. And it was a complete dud. It was a totally calm morning. Made way too much noise getting in. Had the coyotes again. And we just didn't see I didn't see anything that morning really, other than a 2-year-old 8-pointer running some does. So I was not paying attention. I said that in the video. So when I looked up, the deer was in bow range. He was at 35 yards. So I shoot him, he runs off, dies somewhere up here. And that's pretty much it as far as how each hunt went down. Now, some other good information that's worth talking about is access. When I was hunting this spot down here, this is an access trail. So I was running the access trail down to here and branching off like so. And wind, I was having perfect for this setup for when I was hunting over in here. I was trying to hunt it on something with east. Like if it was a morning hunt, I could do southeast. You know, it's a little aggressive, but southeast would work. Evening hunts, northeast would have been ideal for hunting this ridge. Anything with west, with a lot of west. Northwest I could get away with if I hung back, you know, to this side over here, because we'd have the wind coming from the top left corner blowing back to the access trail. And that's the reason, a big reason I set up over here to begin with. Now the first setup where I saw those does, I was not set up correctly. I was hunting it more on a south to southwest wind, and it was not good. But I needed something with a lot of east in it, which is pretty rare, but thankfully during that period that I was hunting, I was getting a lot of southeast and northeast winds, mainly northeast. So one of the more popular videos and the popular deer from that trip was that crazy buck that popped up in a bunch of different videos. The first time I saw him, I was hunting in a stand similar to this, and he come off the ridge like that down into the bottom. And then 30-45 minutes later I rattled and he come up, and I got that awesome footage of him like right here. And I was hunting that on a northwest wind, so it was blowing kind of from top left corner to bottom right. And so once he got up to like right here, that's when you see him bolt. He finally gets downwind of me. So that's the reason I was set up in this stand, was on a northwest wind. I knew I had that bedding cover up in here, and I was set up for bucks to be doing exactly what he did and cruising that downwind edge of that thicket. It worked perfect. It just wasn't, we just didn't have the right deer do it. So the key to this is having the bedding. You know, I had not one but two bedding areas close. You know, I had one here and then one over here. This is all bedding. Mainly right here. This is where most of it is. So I had two bedding areas that close. And then I think maybe even the bigger key was the dropping white oaks on the edge of it. So pretty much all times throughout the day you could see deer movement because of that. And it frustrated me to no end trying to get in and out of the stand. But that was part of it. So that pretty much covers most of it. Think about these stands over here on east dominant winds, you know, northeast, southeast. So I was kind of blowing my wind into this other bedding area, but based off of the sign, this bedding area was where most of the buck sign was. And if the bucks were coming from this one, they were out in here a little further, based off the rub lines. So I was sacrificing this bedding area to hunt this one. And that's super aggressive, but when I'm on these public land hunts, I'm going to be aggressive, because if I ruin the spot and blow it up, I'll just go somewhere else. I would hunt totally differently if I was hunting a small piece of private. But hunting these public places and for short periods of time, I want to put myself in what I feel is the best spot for that given day. So if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. I always try and get back to you. Hopefully this helps somebody. I'll figure out a little better way to do this in the future, but for now, I think this will work.